Hello and welcome to Tell Me in Wrestling, the global podcast that uses ignorance and humour to fill the gaps between everyday life and professional wrestling. If you are new to the podcast, we are going to discuss a topic in conversation and I am going to be told how it works in the world of wrestling. I'm your chronically ignorant and chronically ill host Phil, and I'm here with my tag team 21 off 1. Please let me introduce Carl.
Hello.
And Dan.
How's that, tiddy doodly doo?
Do you know what?
Nice.
I was going to message you yesterday saying, I think you should put how's that at the beginning of your howdly doodly or whatever it is. See?
Can't get anything past this lad.
No.
Exactly. I'm on it like Gromit.
I have no idea what that means, by the way.
Oh, you will never. You never will. We're not even going to
We're never going to tell you.
It's
We're
fine.
never
I don't
We're
care
going to keep
anyway.
you permanently in the dark over this.
Couldn't give a fuck.
This is Tell Me in Wrestling, not Tell Me in Cricket.
Yeah.
Although we will be telling you in cricket for a little bit.
Yeah, I can't fucking wait. Do you know how unenthusiastic you were about the episode last week?
Yeah.
Phil.
Is that
That's
how
how
you're
I
feeling
feel
now?
today. Yeah.
Well, hopefully this week it'll be me and Dan G'ing you up and getting
Bringing
you
the
in a
enthusiasm to the
better frame of
forefront.
mind.
I mean, enthusiasm and cricket
maybe.
have never really been put two and two together. But
No.
Unfortunately, the people who we're going to be discussing later are like cricket statisticians that are like
exactly.
crack addicts. And...
Could it get more boring? It's like 2 layers of boring, isn't it?
A calculator in cricket.
Yeah.
Oh, the excitement that we've got.
Put the two
ahead
together.
of you, listener.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
We all good? We all good?
Yeah. All
Yeah.
good, mate. Yeah.
Oh,
About you?
happy. Yeah, very good. Should we dive straight into some features?
Yes. Drop poem.
Yes, please.
Give you a bloody poem.
Well, will you be giving us a poem? Or
Hey, it's me and the AI have worked as a bit of a tag team
It's a
this week.
collaborative.
Yeah, we've collabed on
you
this.
typed into the
I gave it a prompt, and
prompt.
then these people keep saying these bots and AI are going to take over, right? They still need a bit of editing work, as far as I'm concerned. All right, so I've put it through a Carl lens, so to speak.
the AI generator has gone through the Foxy generator.
Exactly, yeah. I don't know which one's fucking dumber, it or me. I don't really know what this. All I know is this is like convoluted rules. The subject matter this week. So I've kind of based, I've based on different match types. Anyway, here we go. We ready?
Yeah.
In the ring, a battle rages on, with wrestlers dressed in costumes strong. A steel cage match where escape is key. The crowd roars as they try to break free. A ladder match where a belt awaits. High above, it hangs in fate. A TLC match where no one's safe. Thrown through tables, a high-stakes race. A last man standing where the fight never ends until one wrestler finally bends. A Royal Rumble, a Battle Royale where the last one standing is hailed a hero. These gimmick matches, also grand, bring excitement to the wrestling land. Each one is unique, no window dressing. Let's chat about them on Tell Me in Wrestling.
Yes. Well done.
Thank you.
AI.
Is that me or the AI?
There
Mate,
was one moment.
that poem was dog shit when I got it back from the AI, and I juiced it right up.
How much
little
zhuzh?
zhuzh.
Bit of zhuzh.
How much?
A little bit of the old salt and pepper Carlos poem.
Is that your
Magic
beard?
wizardry. Yeah. Yeah, we're drinking to that.
Yeah, it was good.
It's not a bad poem, is it? It's a bit of a cracker, that.
What did hero rhyme with again?
Royale.
Royale.
Yeah.
Hero. Are you like Eminem trying to rhyme
honestly,
orange?
right? There was so many of those in it that I had to change. It was like,
It wasn't even
do
a
you
poem.
know what? I was almost wrote back to it. Do you know what a fucking poem is? Make it rhyme, you silly prick.
As though there's some sort of little man.
Do you know what?
I'm sorry, there's a lot going on. I've got a lot of requests. Make it fucking rhyme.
Speaking of the chat AI, I went to see if I could do something with it the other day.
No,
And it said it wasn't working, and it came up with this thing which said, write a stand-up comedy routine about the status of ChatGPT. And it was it's one of the most bizarre things I've ever
Really?
I've ever read. Yeah. Do you wanna have a look, or should we not bother?
Yeah, give us a little taste.
Yeah, give us a taster.
Right. Let's let me just.
We've got
get it
anything
up
better
over
to do,
here.
have we? To talk about some fucking bullshit about cricket.
This is what the people
Okay.
want. So is it what? Are you actually going to read it, or are you just?
I'm gonna share
Oh, you're
it.
sharing your script, bloody hell.
so
Didn't we
you
learn
got-
about this last week, that it's a...
Yeah. Well, if this doesn't work, then I can do it like another way,
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah. So it goes comedian.
Right, you be the No, you be the comedian and we'll be the laughter.
All right. Okay. Right. So I was trying to use this new AI chatbot website called ChatGPT, and I got an error message that said, a lot of people are checking out ChatGPT right now. Please check back soon. Right. First and foremost, that's not a joke.
That's
There's
not a joke.
no
Where is
need
it?
to pause for laughter there.
Yeah.
Okay, next bit.
I mean, I'll tell you what, Phil. In defense of the AI, it doesn't say there is laughter. It just says it's pausing.
pauses
Just
for
on the off
laughter, yeah.
on the off chance that some happens, I'm going to let it breathe.
Yeah.
But I
Go
don't know
on.
what you're pausing for there. There's no. Yeah.
I mean, seriously? The website is so popular that it can't handle all the traffic, and my only option is to check back soon? It's like they're saying, sorry, we're too popular right now. Try again later.
So that does actually say laughs.
Yeah,
he knows that's a cracker. He knows that's
That
going to get
is.
it. Yeah.
That's gonna
There's
get
no
the laugh.
hesitation there.
Right. I'm taking umbrage with this line as well, because I still think this one's a piece of shit, and I don't really understand what's meant
Go
to be
on.
funny here. Right. But seriously, how many times can I check back before I just give up and try a different chatbot? I don't have all day to wait for my turn to talk to a robot.
So if we are like looking into this a bit further and dissecting it a bit, I guess he's saying like robots should be ever present because that's they're robots. They shouldn't ever be too
Yeah.
busy because that's what they're there for, right?
You're thinking.
People
far too much
have
into a
limited
terrible
amount
joke.
People have a limited amount of kind of, capacity, brain capacity, time. Robots don't. Robots don't know the meaning of time or what's too much. So they should
That's
be
true.
available whenever.
You know the
I
best
like it. I think he's got a good thing going here.
You know the
What's the deal with ChatGPT?
I can't even be bothered to finish it. That's how disappointed I was with it. I thought
What's
it
the
was
close?
actually
What's the
gonna be good.
closer? Just remember, if you're trying to chat with ChatGPT and you get the same error, don't worry. It just means you're not the only one who went. Yeah, all right, just kind of explaining things.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
Yeah.
That's my problem. It's like here's how this works. It's not working right now because a lot of people are using it. That's just a fact. That's not a. You need a bit of Carl to
all
shush
the
it
best.
up.
All the best comedy is rooted in truth, isn't it? So that's all he's trying to do with this, I think, really. Or she could be she. I don't know. Could be trans.
We're bringing in
Well, be.
a very controversial. Is it artificial
You
intelligence?
never know.
Do you know what? It was a damn
Chat
sight.
LBGTQ.
It was a damn sight funnier than some of the comedy I used to hear doing up with Mike.
Yeah, that's true.
We
Like
have
yours.
to-
I was going to say a lot of it coming
Well,
from
it came
me.
from yourself. You just listen to the echo back from the room because there was no laughter.
Oh god,
Maybe-
it's
horrible when that happens. It's
That's why
absolutely horrible.
That's why I think I could never bring myself to do it because I just don't trust that I'm not. If I didn't get anything back, I would just crumble.
Yeah.
Do you know on your?
Do you think that's why in later life you literally your body did crumble? It was just a delayed
Delayed reaction
response.
to the,
Yeah.
to absolutely bombing on stage?
Mm.
On my
I bored
Insta-
myself to the point that my body was like, I want out of this. I don't want anything to do with this. Please take me out.
God damn.
Absolutely.
Sorry.
No, I was just going to say on my Instagram Reels, I stumbled across a comedian who his thing was, I hate all these comedians posting their absolute wins. Here's me bombing on stage, and it was really, I can't remember the actual joke itself, but it was just really bad. But then I clicked on his actual YouTube channel, and it's actually on his Instagram channel, and it's all loads of reels of him thinking he's made a joke or done really well because he's got like a smattering of laughter, but they're very much. Phil, you'll know probably more. Like even when you do bomb, there's probably like pity laughters, People who will just
Yeah, you always get like
the whole
fat girl in the back to encourage.
The whole idea of going to a comedy club is to laugh. You're going there because you want
and you're
to
gonna
actually
laugh at things that are not objectively not funny, and it's just like this guy's down on stage, but it's like you just kind of like call and response, isn't there? And like there's a smattering, and there's just a smattering of call and response laughters, and I'm like, none of this is funny, and I just go next video, not funny, next. But I don't know if it's one of those ones. He's only got like 121 followers on his Instagram account. I don't know if this is next level, like sort of beyond the Stuart Lee anti-comedy.
It sounds like just a bad comedian.
A bad comedian who's just posting his stuff on Instagram, and he's boosted a video to get onto my feed, and all of his other
specifically.
ones, my feed, just my feed specifically. But all of his videos are just, not a single one of them are funny, and he's just out and about, and he's basically touring the country, and none of it is funny. And I'm like, I don't know if this is because you never know in these days, do you? Like if somebody's just trying to. Well, Phil's head shake is kind of like bad comedian on the grind.
Yeah. It'll be someone who doesn't quite understand.
If it was someone doing a bit,
to deliver his
they'd be
stuff.
getting laughs still, and they would be more popular.
Because the hardest bit about starting stand up is you have to do it. It's not like you can join a band and then play cover songs and stuff like that until you're good enough to write your own stuff.
Yeah,
you've got to come up with your own shit. Yeah,
and you don't also start off as the kind of anti-joke comic. You evolve into that. Like Norm Macdonald didn't start the way he did. No. He evolved into it. So you can't start doing a bit and hope it's going to get some.
Hope it gets over.
Yeah, because you because I have tried that, and it either goes really well because the audience understand what's going on, or you look like an absolute prick.
Mm-hmm. So what's he? I don't get it. What's he doing? He's trying to be like smart. I don't like it. I just want to laugh. Yeah. Don't want to think. This is ChatGPT. Is probably he's kind of like I said. He's too
tired.
many.
He wants to.
You have to kind of break it down too much to unpack with his lines or her lines or their lines
or their lines or they lines.
You can't say it's, can you? They don't like
that. What, ChatGPT?
Yeah.
Yes, ChatGPT.
They prefer being called IT.
That closes that conversation off.
Yep.
Next
on the agenda, we've got.
What did you just hit there that made that noise?
I think it's table and
my fidget cube on my desk. I'm going to get a gavel, I think.
Next, on to the next order of the day.
Wait, I'm the host here.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Why do you have a gavel?
Well, because I manage a team more for work when I'm doing my work, but also
we should
for
get
this,
you a little
so
squeaky gavel or something.
Yeah.
Then there you go. Then you can go.
I'll have a squeaky.
So Phil, take over the ship and drive us into the next segment.
Come on
then. We have got...
What a leader! What a leader!
Right. Well, from 2 episodes ago, the Triggers Brew one, right? I decided that there might be a place in America called Clunge.
Oh, right, yeah.
So I had a look to see if there was one, and there isn't. So I have found some other places that have got unfortunate names, and I think we should petition one of them to change their name.
To what?
To Clunge.
Oh, right, okay.
I think.
Why did we say? Who said Clunge? Why
you said mutual Clunge was the.
Oh yeah.
Mutual Clunge.
Yeah. Sorry.
And then I made a joke about a bank. I mean, you can see why I used to, think I was funny with stuff like this, listeners. So I think it could go instead of in California. There's a place called Rough and Ready.
Rough and Ready.
Rough and Ready.
That must be like where they film porn. It's like the porn capital.
Is that like
it's
literally
just like,
rough and ready? Like, or is it like?
Is it an N or is it and?
Rough and ready.
No, it's an and. It's actually.
Oh, is it? So it's 3 words. Right, okay.
What's the etymology of the town name?
Oh, I don't know. I'm trying to create a funny bit.
He always does this. He always see. Come on.
Half the research.
Maybe not that then. How about Needmore, Florida?
Needmore.
We don't need more Florida. I don't think anybody needs more Florida.
Oh, the place is called Needmore.
The place is called Needmore, yeah.
Is it spelled
genuinely Needmore?
Needmore.
Need more Florida.
Yeah, Clunge
more
is better. Clunge, Florida.
Clunge, Florida. It's just got a better
Isn't
ring to
Florida the? What do they describe it as? The asshole of
the arsehole of
Yeah, the
America.
arsehole of America.
So it's now the clunge of America. It's just the little bit higher than the asshole.
Mm. What about Felchville, Massachusetts?
Felchville.
Yeah.
Did they know?
Felchville.
Yeah, Felchville.
Oh
God.
my god.
Imagine that place on a Saturday night, eh?
Oh.
Oh, party cent. Oh no, I don't even want to think about it.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're this is supposed to be us talking about cricket and shit like that.
Yeah,
I'm already bringing it up.
will put that off for as long as possible. So, is that it? Is that
No, I was also thinking, right, you know how we were talking about mustaches and beards in the last episode, and you were like, "Oh, I haven't got it quite there."
But yeah,
yours doesn't.
I'll be honest, lads. As soon as I close the window on doing this podcast, I don't
Your brain
remember
just
anything of it. Yeah.
Well, I had to.
You
watch
are the
it,
AI.
like multiple times.
Clean wipe.
Right.
When I was editing. Now I was thinking, could we like fill it in like Blue Meanie style?
Yeah.
Just draw it on.
Yeah.
Because I could probably do with doing it on mine, and then we wouldn't look so stupid if the other one has done it as well.
You know what you can get?
Draw some hair on Dan as well.
Yeah. Just tattoo it on his head. You know what you can get? Like little fibers that you like can drop on and they stick to your hair. Like if you're going bald, you can. I may have got some because I was worried about going bald for about. I had a week where I was in a proper panic about going bald recently, and I bought a derma roller. I don't even know how you use it.
Oh yeah, one of those little.
I got one of these. I got that the other day. It's not come out of the box until just now.
What you need to do is to see if it properly works. You've got to do it on a part of your body that like, just do it on your nose, just there.
Where hair doesn't grow. Well, I thought about just doing it here. But yeah, you can get these fibers that basically just stick to your hair.
Oh, is that the shaky thing?
Yeah. It's like salt and pepper, but it sticks to the hair and thickens it up. So we could just use that every day.
Just lay down and...
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not going to do that again on camera.
Just gonna freeze that, take that clip, and
there's a thumbnail for the episode.
There's the YouTube thumbnail.
Oh, wonderful!
Come on then. What was next?
Go on, Phil. Drive us into the next segment. That's a signal for a wipe, isn't it? Yeah, I'm gonna put a marker down.
The old podcast pilot over here.
Next is Show Me the Money.
Oh yeah.
I thought you meant a place in fucking Florida or somewhere. No. Got you. We're past that.
Show Me the Money, Ohio.
Show me the money.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
Dollar.
Just before I get into my little intro,
you know that just played twice for me. Did it not play twice for everyone else?
No, we didn't hear the first one.
Oh, I did. That's really weird. Maybe it's because I started the session. Anyway,
maybe because you'll have it.
Do it again because we just fucked that up. There's going to be so many wipes over this bit. We're going to give people epilepsy.
So the wipe is going to come. I'm going to put a marker in here again. There you go. So this
wipe
is where
it.
The wipe's coming from.
It's fine. Show people how the sausage are made. Let's crack on. Come on.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
This is basically the third time we're going for this. The world of wrestling.
From dancing so much. Sorry. Go.
Shit, we go again.
Crack on. Let's just
Here we go. Money talk.
This is all got to stay in the episode. The world of wrestling is obsessed with money, from ironclad contracts to billion-dollar princesses, with money in the bank ladder matches and casino battle royales. As the $1 Million Man says, everyone's got a price. Exactly like that. So this week, I want you to tell me, how much did Zack Ryder spend on a wrestling figure of the Big Boss Man?
Ooh, the Big Boss Man.
There are
Doesn't
words
he
in that
have?
sentence I'm not really sure about. Who's the Big Boss Man?
The Big Boss Man.
Who's the Big Boss Man?
We've discussed the Big Boss Man before.
Is it Vince?
No, he's a wrestler. Big Boss Man is a wrestler.
Cool.
He was a
correctional officer. Sorry,
facilities officer. Like he worked in a prison.
Okay.
And then he went to WCW with basically the same gimmick, but he was called Big Bubba from, I think, something like that.
Okay.
Zack Ryder is a very prolific collector of wrestling toys. I'm sure there's some rare toys that were basically printed naked that are like, there's no color on the clothes, or whatever, and he has one of them, and it's worth shitloads.
Okay.
Um,
So it's around whatever shitloads is.
well, I don't know. Big Boss
Presumably.
Man wasn't exactly. It must be some kind of. Dan, is it a rare piece?
I can't say anything. Like, I'm just.
Because they can go from like 15 quid in the shops to collector ones. Ah, stupid money.
Yeah, I'm just.
What were they called? The line J something JNL J.
What,
J-
JNL? That's where you buy mops and everything.
No, it's what were they called? It was a type of toy, J something.
Oh, I don't know.
I won't try it.
My knowledge of it is. So yeah, basically.
How much do wrestling figures normally go for? I mean, I bought some
Well, it
shitty
depends,
knockoff
really,
ones
like-
from eBay.
All right, I've got a guess. Fuck it.
Okay.
Do you want me to go first?
Yeah.
Yeah, let Carl go first.
I'm gonna say $500 because I'm
Okay.
assuming it's some kind of rare Big Boss Man one.
Okay.
So I can either go higher or lower here.
$501 US.
I'm gonna go $125. I'm
125.
gonna go a bit lower. Yeah, I think you might
To be honest, like, I
might be
suppose, yeah,
pulling
I
the
could
wool
be
over our eyes a little.
yeah, I
bit,
could be throwing you a red herring just by saying.
It could be $15.
Yeah. Well, you're both wrong. It was actually $5,500.
Oh,
I knew it'd be. I knew. Yeah. Is it like a rare?
Yeah,
Rare
it was a
ticket item.
rare find. It was the Big Boss Man Hasbro 2-up figure Paint Master. It was an overlarge proof of concept doll.
That's maybe
of
what
the
those
toy would
naked
look
ones
like.
are. I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and it was he basically did it as part of his Figure It Out series on the network before he left and went off, and then continued that sort of format on his own because it was like the podcast with Kurt, not Henning. That's the completely Kurt Hawkins. Bloody hell.
Kurt Hawkins.
Ooh,
What's his real name? I forget his real name.
Oh, I don't know.
I mean,
The
Dan
one he
couldn't
wrestles with
remember his
outside of
fake
the-
one. So
The one he wrestles
Brian
with outside.
Myers.
Brian Myers. That's
Yeah.
That's what I know him.
Yeah.
Kind of more
So
recently.
he does it on. Yeah, they've got their own podcast and
Fuckers.
all of that stuff. Doing
We never had a
flexing pod-
chance, did we, lads?
No, we haven't
all
got a
these
chance.
wrestlers
Especially
with
when we can't
podcasts.
remember his own name.
Yeah.
We're the wrestling expert podcast. Can't remember what Kurt Hawkins' his natural name is.
I mean, he's not really
He's all right.
not a big podcaster, not a big wrestler, really, is he?
Yeah,
It's
big
really
on
annoying me
English.
that I can't remember what that. It was like J something, and it's really
J.
annoying me that I
Crew.
can't. LJN. LJN.
LJN.
Thank God for that, because I wouldn't be able to concentrate for the
Just
rest
spent
of
the
this
rest of the podcast just clicking and clicking
Genuinely,
and clicking.
I'd have
and
been.
around.
Yeah,
trying to get
I would
a
have
response
been
from you.
listening. Not that I listen to either of you that often, but I would not have listened to a thing. So,
Yeah.
good job that's sorted.
Anyway,
Next.
just on that, on the Show Me the Money
Oh.
thing,
yeah.
hopefully by next week we'll maybe have a new theme tune. 'Cause I've been working on something in the background.
Can you also animate an intro sting for it? Because I can't be asked to do a new one.
Yeah, I'll do something. I've got an idea.
can you also do all the social media and promotion for?
Oh yeah, that'd be great as well. Thank you.
I did respond to a tweet today.
Oh yeah, well
on
done.
the
I
account.
didn't.
That's
I
true,
noticed.
yeah.
Tell anyone to listen to the podcast. You
No.
just sincerely replied to the guy's question instead of using it to promote our platform.
I haven't got this shilling
No.
concepts down just yet. So
Call to action, Dan. Call
Call
to
to
action.
We've got a John Wiki.
have we?
How about you knock a theme tune together for this bad boy as well,
Yeah.
because it's becoming a permanent thing of the podcast.
Yes, especially when Phil spends the whole of 3 minutes clicking through John Cena's Wiki. Hang on, I'm stealing his intro. What do you do, Phil?
He's got a load of them on the backlog. I think he did a big chunk of them a while
Actually,
ago.
this is the only one that I've got left. I actually thought I didn't have one.
Oh, right. There we go then.
I normally have it. I normally do them when I'm editing the previous episode, or if I'm just sort of watching it through, just to make sure there's no more fuck ups and before it gets.
So you're
exported.
sat there scrolling through Wikipedia when you should be doing work, Phil. This is
Yeah.
disgraceful.
Mhm.
It has somehow become my job.
So, yeah.
John Wiki. I start on John Cena's Wikipedia page. I fall down a wrestling rabbit hole, and I'm going to try and quiz these two giant wrestling nerds to see who knows the most. Score so far, it's Carl 3, Dan 3, and I have -1.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah.
From the catastrophe that was the big gold belt, where
Yeah.
you took a point off the person. Yeah.
Well, at least you're on the scoreboard.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
I completely forgot we gave you demerit for that.
Yep, the demerit point.
So here's an opportunity for you to make up for that,
Yeah.
or for one of us to.
I'm going to say
Take the
no.
lead.
If neither of you get this one, we should probably just shut the podcast.
Just
down.
shut the podcast down.
Yeah.
Oh God, here we go. This
Okay.
is pens out.
We all ready?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I debuted on April the 29th, 1999.
Is that again April one?
I debuted on April 29th, 1999.
Okay, I've got one.
Could that go on?
I'd say write your answer down and
Yeah.
then wait for Carl, because it doesn't really matter if you both guess the same thing.
Yeah.
If one of you says it first, the
Then
other
we
one
can
kind of
prove-
can't just pile in with the same
Show
one.
our homework.
Show
So-
your workings at the end.
Show my work.
Can I? Is that their debut in a company or in wrestling?
No additional questions.
Oh.
That's just
That's
just
the point
when,
of John
when the
Wiki, isn't
debut
it?
was.
Okay.
That is the debut.
Okay, I have a guess.
Yeah. So
Okay,
shall I go with
both
mine?
ready?
Let
Yeah,
me write
yeah.
it down in case you don't believe
Yeah.
me.
Okay, Dan, you go first then.
I'm going to say Edge.
Okay.
Edge.
Edge. Incorrect.
Oh,
Okay, right.
right.
Okay. Oh, you're both.
We're both like, right,
Yeah,
yeah, come on.
okay.
In the same mind frame.
I was set up to compete against WCW's Thursday night show Thunder.
SmackDown.
Yeah, like I can't.
This is what I mean.
Would you have gotten that if I hadn't have said that?
If I'd have I was literally writing WCW Thunder, and
Sorry.
then yeah, like that's the whole point of writing your answer down.
Yeah,
isn't
I'm
it?
sorry. But I wanted
Yeah,
to win.
yeah. To be honest, 99. Like they're both. Yeah, I would have gone SmackDown as well
Yeah, just
eventually.
Thursday
It's,
night.
it's
Thursday night is still SmackDown night to me, even though it wasn't even on Thursdays in the UK.
I was
Yeah.
going to say we had the 30 year of Raw recently, and for us, we had to still wait like 3 years before it actually debuted, didn't we?
Yeah. What were the other?
Sorry, yeah, Phil, did we get that
Anything
right?
to do with a giant fist coming out the screen on this one?
No,
On stage?
actually,
No?
no.
Oh,
I
interesting.
Didn't. It's a lot more different, sort of looking at things when everything is just written down on a Wikipedia page, rather than seeing like logos and stuff. I am currently shown on Fox before I switched to my current live format. Taped episodes premiered earlier than the USA due to time difference. My lead writer is either of you?
Vince Russo?
Ed Koski.
Oh, his best mate. Yeah.
My 100th episode was on October 16th, 2018. I have been. The word SmackDown has been in the Oxford English Dictionary since 1990.
Oh, really?
Popularized by wrestling. So
The Rock
yeah.
popularized it. Yeah.
But 1990, that must have meant that somebody popularized it before.
So it was
right?
already
I think
there,
it-
yeah, and then
yeah, it was already
wrestling
there.
sort
He
of
just-
brought it to the forefront of.
Yeah. I mean, The Rock was
Is
doing
it
Same with like
Elias Smack-
Jabroni and things like that. Like he brought that to the.
Wasn't jabroni? That's a carny term, isn't it? Anyways,
I don't know.
yeah. But that was supposed to mean a jobber. But yeah,
So,
sorry.
Am I saying that you both got that one?
We both won that,
I'll
yeah.
be generous. I'll be generous.
Be generous. I would have.
And
yeah.
I'm still at -1.
Well, it looks like there's been enough talk. It's time for the main event.
So our main event this week is the Duckworth-Lewis-Stern method, which is as exciting as it sounds. If you've never heard of it before, congratulations, you live a very happy and fulfilled life.
Yeah, it was until this fucking episode.
So this is I took this from the Wikipedia article. It is a mathematical formula designed to calculate the target score, i.e. the number of runs needed to win, in a limited overs cricket match that has been interrupted, usually by weather. I don't really know what else it would be interrupted by if not weather.
Could be a streaker.
Yeah.
Why can't they just carry on? Why do you need a bit of maths to work it out?
Because it gets too dark.
Yeah.
Because they have to stop at some point.
Isn't there like how do you play cricket? Isn't there like an end?
Isn't
it like
so?
you
This
either
is
get to
limited overs. So basically, you're restricted really through light to play a maximum of about 120 overs in a day. Maximum.
About
Yeah.
And that's playing Test cricket. But
wait, so it's determined by the sun.
That's what the time do. Yeah. Because
is that what you're saying?
Yeah. So
you just play as much as you can in the sun.
Yeah. When the light then the light goes down, and then it's unsafe and it's unfair to play in the dark. But
why don't they get by a few floodlights and?
Well, they do, but then obviously it's not. So they do have now in red ball cricket, which is the longer format. They'll play with like an orange ball, but it deteriorates in a different sort of way. And limited overs, the white ball deteriorates different to the red ball, so it deteriorates quicker than the red ball. So that's why they can play a condensed format of the game in 50 overs. So one team plays for 50 overs, then the other team then gets 50 overs to try and chase down that score.
Yeah.
But what can happen?
It feels like something that is easily fixed, but they just don't want to.
Well, what by playing longer?
Yes.
Theoretically,
with a ball that's appropriate.
Yeah. If the game, there's arguments where it's just like
what would you suggest, like a big beach ball.
Yeah. Or like get a load of laggy bands and just keep wrapping them around and just use one of them and then see how long it lasts.
Isn't that what the inside of a cricket ball is?
The golf
is that a golf ball?
Golf ball.
Cork is the inside. Okay, I knew it was. I knew it was some sporting.
Hence
another fucking boring sport
called a corky ball, a cricket ball.
Oh, wow, Jesus! So. I wonder who came up with that.
Yeah.
Right. Well, before we get into all that, do you want to play another quick game? I'm bringing one back from the dead. We've not played it in a while,
and apparently it ties in with the
subject.
Well, kind of. Yeah, it's just. Well, I'll tell you what it is. Is this a wrestling gimmick? Is this a wrestling match gimmick or just some shit I made up? You ready?
Okay. Yeah.
So remember to add the music under this. It's been a while. So I'm going to be even kinder here, Phil. I'm going to give you the match name and a little line on what the match is. You ready?
Okay, yeah.
All
right.
First one, Kennel from Hell match. So it's a cage match that has dogs surrounding the ring.
Okay. No one's in a kennel, because that was my first.
No.
Right. Right, I would have said no, because I would have thought, you shouldn't really bring animals in. But after the documentary we saw, there were fucking parrots and snakes, so, they don't care. Yeah, go on then. I'll say yes.
It is real. It was, I think, was it a WrestleMania? I can't remember. No, it was something else. But it was Al Snow against a Big Boss Man. And... It was a lot of chihuahuas, and they all just started shitting and humping each other.
Yeah, because that's what dogs do.
Yeah, and they weren't scary.
They were pit bulls.
No, they weren't.
They were. They just shat and pissed everywhere.
I'm pretty sure they were. Oh no, was Pepper his little dog a chihuahua? The Big Boss man.
They were bulldogs. They were bulldogs.
Either way, they were not scary when they were meant to be, and they just started shitting and pissing and humping each other. Yeah. Similar to that. You can probably see where my mind went here. A dog poo match. The loser is the one that gets slammed into a tray of dog poo.
Yeah.
It is real. It is real. I thought I'd get you on that one. Rock versus British Bulldog.
God, that sounds.
It can't be real poo. That kind of.
I think I'd much rather have been slammed into like thumbtacks than actual shit.
Well, they do get slammed into thumbtacks.
Maybe a bit of both. Who knows? And a hardcore dog poo match. That's what you'd have. Anyway, moving on. Number 3, a King of the Road match. A trailer is pulled behind a truck while people wrestle in it.
If it's not real, it should be. Sounds quite entertaining. Sounds very dangerous. So I'm going to go yes that's true.
It is true. Goldust against Roddy Piper, I think, early WrestleMania or SummerSlam.
How fast were they going in the truck?
Not very fast. It looked quite shit. Yeah, it wasn't. It was a bit of an odd one. And finally, the Kiss of Death match. Both wrestlers fight to kiss the opponent open mouth with tongue.
I'm going to say you've made that one up.
You fucker, you got them all right. Well done.
First
I've lost it. It's been too long, I've lost it.
Yeah. We've kind of smutted this episode up on...
Have we?
Well, me and you have.
Have we?
Well, you've just been talking about people getting thrown into shit. I was talking about
that's
before.
true. Yeah, that's true.
And now we're going to talk about
Rough and Ready, California.
Yeah. Here we come for a hardcore dog pig match.
Lovely stuff.
Right, I'll race through this stuff as fast as I can. Okay, it was introduced in 1997 by Frank Duckworth, who is an
I
MBE.
thought this was like something from the 1800s, and it
No,
just...
This is the reason why it was introduced.
So that's even
This is quite
stupider
recent.
then. Why can't they just buy a few lights, get a better ball, fucking job done? You don't need some mathematical equation.
There's a condensed amount of time for them to be able to play the match. So
Why is that?
Oh,
of
we've
light.
been over
Yeah, I
this
just said
once
buy
already.
a load of floodlights.
but they already
Sorted.
are playing. They are playing. Basically,
Do it inside then.
But then it's an unfair advantage or disadvantage to another team. So they have to keep it within the parameters of a fair game. So then they'll go, right, okay, so we can't play this game any later than like 11 p.m. at night, because then it's either too late, the players are too fatigued, or it's too dark.
Why are they just
and
doing
there's
2
enough-
halves
the
over the course of
pictures
2 days?
The pictures had
Pick it up where you left off.
Because, oh my god,
there's-
because the weather could change, and that makes
Yeah.
it a completely
do it a
different
day
match
after then.
altogether.
it's a different game altogether. Yeah.
Buy a fucking gazebo and do it on the lawn.
If a game's so what happens is after a set amount of overs, which is now it's changed so many times over the years, but after a set amount of overs, then a match has to be completed within that day.
Yeah.
Be it via
And
Duckworth-Lewis.
if you were talking to an idiot
Yeah.
and they maybe asked what an over is, what would you say?
Six balls.
6 deliveries of a ball.
Right.
Yeah. So the two sides of the pitch, one goes 6 times this side.
So
as soon as that's done, that's an
let's
over.
use 2020 cricket because it's the shortest
Yeah.
format.
Of course. Yeah, of course.
So
Makes sense.
Easy.
Like the year of 2020.
yeah.
Right.
They just played cricket that 1 year.
Yeah. You're taking the piss.
That
Okay,
was
right.
it.
You don't mean that. 2020 is the type of cricket. I've got it.
Okay, right. So Frank Duckworth invented it with Anthony John Lewis, also an MBE, who devised the method with Frank Duckworth after reading a paper Frank Duckworth wrote called Foul Play in Fair Weather. Okay, so they're the two geniuses behind this, because they solved a lot of problems that were happening. And cricket was suddenly becoming like a global sport, and there was a lot more money being put in. People needed to know how can a match
be completed
because
fairly?
you can the usual results are you win or you lose a cricket match in one day.
Mm-hmm.
There can be ties. So there was an issue in the 2003
I never realised
World
that
Cup.
cricket was actually a triple threat match every time. It's the teams and the weather and
Yeah.
light. I never realised that.
Most of things, like if they do like a toss before the match to see who's going to bat first,
Wait,
and who's
do
going to
they?
bowl first, and so often people will just be like, "Well, they won the toss, so they're going to win the match because they're going to do this
'Cause
under
they've
the
got-
best conditions."
Because
Therefore,
they've got the advantage.
therefore
Right.
it's already over.
Well, they know that the match is going to be
What,
rained
6
off at
over
some point.
or different? Like, okay, got you. Sorry. Right.
Right, so the 2003, I think 50 over World Cup, South Africa went out because they thought they'd scored enough to win the match when the match was eventually abandoned due to bad weather. What had happened was they'd actually tied the game and they got eliminated.
I
So
see.
it was really important that you try and figure out exactly what's going on, because it can change ball by ball depending on what
Yeah.
happens. Because you can get a wicket, dot ball, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, doesn't happen very often, or a 6 every single ball. So that can swing from one team's advantage to another very, very quickly. So they need to be able to try and track all this stuff.
It's just fucking gibberish. But go on.
It is so complicated that they use computers to sort it out. You can't just use it like
it's
it's
a
too difficult to
mathematical
work
equation.
out.
Bit ChatGPT going on.
Yeah,
Pretty
basically.
much.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah,
What's the name?
Duckworth-Lewis.
Duckworth-Lewis.
Duckworth and Lewis.
And Lewis, yeah.
Who the fuck are these guys? Why?
They're-
How did they come up with
what were
something
they?
and then they
For some
implement
reason,
it
it's
everywhere?
not estimators, is it?
Could I
What are
turn
they
up
doing?
at the fucking local cricket ground tomorrow and be like, lads, I've sorted it out.
No,
I've
they
sorted something out. Here, do this. Don't worry about the sun. The sun's fine. Fuck it. Doesn't matter.
What are they called? They were experts. It's not estimators. It's
He was
something-
so Frank Duckworth.
Oh, so they had clout within the cricket game.
he
Well, not
already
even
worked
within
for.
cricket.
What?
No, Frank Duckworth was already in. He
Yeah, but
worked
I
for the
mean-
International Cricket Council,
Yeah.
who are in basically make the rules up of cricket,
Yeah.
what you can and can't do. Anthony John Lewis, I think he was a
Statistician. that's it.
Yeah, you say it.
Yeah,
Lecturer
statistician,
and worked
yeah.
at a uni.
They were both
So
mathematical
this is a bit like
geniuses.
It's a bit like Vince McMahon and Dave Meltzer getting together to change the rules of wrestling. Then, in a way,
Yeah,
kind of.
It's like
Now-
Vince Russo making up.
I did the research a few weeks ago, so I can't remember if they've just retired or if either of them are dead.
I think one of them died, didn't they? And that's why. It's...
Does
possibly.
doing this bring them any money in? Like,
no,
did they patent the method?
No,
I'm assuming that
Fucking losers.
I'm assuming that they might have got paid for their role in doing this. I don't think they got paid
every time it gets
for
used,
the
like
method.
it's
Yeah.
copyrighted a patent on
No.
how the maths and goes. It's been used in this game.
You
so
can tell they're not American, can't you? Because
Yeah.
they would be fucking Bruce Buffer every time. If I even say ready to rumble right now, we're gonna have to pay $2 million. You know what I mean?
We're gonna have to. I'm gonna put a marker in because we're gonna have to beat that bit out.
Yeah. All right.
So they don't really have much to do with it anymore, and it's actually the custody has been handed over to someone else called Stephen Stern. So it's now known as Duckworth-Lewis-Stern method. And again, he is a
So he just tacked his
statistician.
name on,
Yeah.
even though he didn't do anything. He turned up late and he tacked his name on.
Well, he's
Well,
got
I
to
think
make.
it's more.
He's the Elon Musk of the group, isn't he? Fucking hell.
Well, is it not? Because obviously the game changes
Yeah.
so much that they have to. The
Does it?
method actually.
How has it
adapts
changed?
to-
You've got because since 1997 there are now at least 2 brand new formats of cricket that are played. You've got T20, which didn't exist back then, and then over here in England we have the 100, which I'm
There's
not
T10 as well, which is
Yeah,
played in the Caribbean.
I thought it was all just cricket and they were just like different leagues or brands or something.
I mean, I think to be honest, the subject
I thought it was
cricket.
like Premier League, Champions League. I thought it was like that.
That's
T20 fucking.
it's
whatever.
different formats. So I think like instead of the Duckworth-Lewis method for what today's Tell Me in Wrestling is, it's probably cricket in general because there's so many different formats, and it's like that's
Like different match types.
This
almost.
is
Yeah.
the Tell Me in Wrestling, but
Right.
but yeah, like the actual methodology behind it, because it has to adapt to the different styles of game that's played to make it fair. And again, because of the fact that the game can go slightly longer than previously because of lighting.
I hope it doesn't go into
and-
nighttime because
well,
Yeah,
they need to get into their beddy boos, don't they?
They used to back in the olden days of cricket. They used to just in Test cricket. They just used to play until there was a result.
Yeah.
And there's a famous example of the England cricket team having to cut short a tour of like a foreign country because if they kept playing, they were going to miss the boat back home. So the match just ended with them forfeiting after about 8 days.
But that makes more sense to me than using a mathematical equation to.
Well, it's in the shorter format. In the longer format, the game is played for 5 days, and if there's no winner, then it's a tie. That's the whole joke about it. We can play a game for 5 days and still don't have a winner. In the 1 day format or the shorter formats, white ball cricket, there has to be a winner.
Somehow.
Why?
Well, it's the same as like how there has to be a winner in American sports. There just has to be a winner of the match. So
It sounds like
generally
changing
what
that would
happens
have made
is
it a bit
if-
easier
if-
than.
what
get
will
on
happen
that.
is, again, very rarely do you get circumstances where there isn't a winner. Like,
You-
unlike, I mean,
You don't want to try and take maths away from cricket fans. There'd
Yeah.
be no sport left. We love looking at strike rates and economies.
That's the irony
and
behind
stuff
it.
like
Yeah.
that.
So it's
How often is it used?
more
is it
often
like
than you actually
every
think.
day?
Yeah,
No,
no.
it's-
Every
but-
day of a cricket game, this is fucking implemented.
But,
Stearns is rolling in it.
It's important.
Yeah.
It's important because the other systems that they had in
It can't be
place
that
before
important.
this
It didn't have it before
didn't
97.
work.
Oh, it
Well,
didn't
there's an
work.
example
So-
of it.
so-
Isn't
there's a-
cricket like the oldest sport?
Yes,
Isn't it
but
one of the
the-
oldest
No, that's
sports?
prostitution, isn't it?
It's the oldest job. But how have they from?
It's not a job if you love
I mean,
it.
this happened in our lifetime. They must have been doing it for
Yeah.
years before this and been fine.
Yeah, they had different. Well, they
Oh
weren't
no,
fine.
shit!
They weren't fine.
Shit just kept going wrong. So
Yeah.
there's another example. It was the 1992 World Cup semi-final. So this is it's an important match. England against South Africa again. Rain stopped play for 12 minutes, and they used something called the most productive overs method to calculate the new target that South Africa had to get. I'm not even going to read out what I've written down because it's just a
How-
boring equation. But what
How can
happened?
they be asked? Go on.
What happened was South Africa went from needing 22 off 13 balls to win it, which is doable. You can score
Right.
more than one
Yeah,
run
of course it is. Yeah,
per ball.
obviously.
To needing 21 off one delivery, which is completely unfair because their target got reduced by one run, but 2 overs just disappeared altogether. So all of a sudden they were left with an impossible task.
Poor
But
fuckers.
they had to go with it because that was the rule that was in place at the time.
At the time, that was the mathematical equation that was.
And
the
no one
accepted
could
within
believe
the-
it. It was an absolute farce.
It was one of those ones
So-
where, for many, they came up with this mathematical equation, which was the most productive run rate, and then it was kind of like nobody really went beyond the face value of the maths and went, okay, it works. So then they just implemented it, and for numerous years, it worked to a certain extent. It kind of kept the game somewhat fair, but then there was always people kind of. I remember watching documentaries and people sort of going, but in this scenario, it won't work. And they're like, no, it's fine. And in this scenario, turned out to be the 1992 World Cup semi-final, like one of the biggest matches for the sport itself.
Yeah.
And yes,
They fucked it all up,
They,
basically.
they were like, "Oh, right,
the
this
international
doesn't
stage.
actually work. This doesn't actually work." And obviously, this is. We'll look at your face. You're like, "Fucking I hate the sport."
yeah.
At the start, and again, casual viewers will have watched that and gone, "Ah, no, this is bullshit. Why?
Yeah,
why should
it just doesn't make any sense. It's not fair. If you were watching a sport and then all of a sudden one of the teams was just not allowed to win, like
Yeah.
it just.
But it's like a rug pull, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
So, all right.
Let's get into the wrestling
No,
bit.
just no, because I've got 2 bits on that. But anyway, just
Okay.
what? Explain it again.
Oh God, no!
Like, explain just the rule at its core again, because now you've given me loads of background and I
Yeah,
kind
okay.
of don't really
Alright.
still understand it. But
Can you
I've
explain
figured
the
out what it was.
mathematical equation, Phil? No, I can't.
No,
No.
it's
But just
too
the
complicated.
basics.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll read out the little description thing again.
Mm.
See if it makes a bit more sense now. We're giving you the context. So it's a mathematical formula designed to calculate the target score, so the number of runs needed to win
Mm.
in a limited overs cricket match. So that's each side batting the same amount of time. Whoever
Yeah.
gets the most
Sun's
runs
going
wins.
down.
Yeah, there's
Can't
been
afford better
there's been
balls.
interrupted usually by weather. So let's say you lost 2 hours of play. You've got to then try and calculate what would have happened in those 2 hours,
Yeah.
given it a myriad of stuff. You've got to look at the teams, you've got to look at the conditions, you've got to look at how the state of the fucking ball and all
Yeah.
sorts. And it's just
So,
it's so
It's-
complicated, but it needs to be there.
got
Yeah.
you.
But it's
So,
really,
can I just point
ridiculous.
out, I have completely misunderstood what this
Okay.
was. I'm starting to think now maybe I should do a little bit of prep work on what the subject matter is, because
Maybe.
I have completely misunderstood what it was. I thought it was just like weird rules and we just do like weird matches.
That's what
It
yeah, well,
actually
that's what-
sounds, but
yeah.
to me, it sounds like it's something that kind of revolutionized cricket to a certain extent and kind of fixed a few
Yeah, I
problems
mean,
and like
to be honest,
turned a corner
like,
with it.
Realistically, the Tell Me in Wrestling is probably the Royal Rumble.
Well, I've got
Something like that. like
Better one
the
for
actual Royal Rumble itself. Like, oh no. Yeah. In the sense that it revolutionized the entertainment of it. It's perfect. It works. It's bang on. But
I actually think
that would be.
Go on.
What was yours?
My rebuttal to that, just from hearing you two talk about the most boring subject in the world for 5 minutes, there is that it's pay-per-view.
Yeah,
That completely revolutionized income streams, how people watched it, got it more eyes on it. It made it less. You don't have to go to like a closed circuit cinema to watch it. You could watch it at home. Like pay-per-view revolutionized wrestling to the point where it became mainstream.
Do you know what's interesting? Because
What?
you've got a completely fresh set of eyes on this, and me and Dan know that it's interesting to see your take on
actual
how this
live
is.
take.
Because
Yeah.
I've never thought about the fact that it's revolutionised the game, but now
Well, it
you've
sounds
said,
like
but
it.
now you've said it,
Well,
and with the points that we've been making, it
I
that is
believe it, yeah.
absolutely
I mean,
correct. It
I knew
has
what-
changed the game completely.
I knew what Duckworth-Lewis was before we went in, and I've literally my research is focused solely on the same thing as you, as it's fucking.
Didn't you play
complicated
cricket
as
for your
hell.
local county?
I did, yeah.
You're like
But
bread and butter is
again,
cricket.
It's one of those ones where until your eyes have kind of pointed out it revolutionized it. I never really thought of it as that. I always thought of it as this complicated.
You don't
mishmash of
Yeah,
ideas,
like-
and you're
want it to be.
Thing you don't quite understand, and it's
Yeah.
a bit convoluted.
no one's
But it
gonna-
actually sounds like a necessary thing to kind of
Yeah,
a
you're
step
right.
change that was necessary. Like it feels like maybe similarly to that, the territories dying and Vince kind of taking over and forming like getting national television syndication. One of the
Yeah.
two. But
Yeah.
those are two things that revolutionized wrestling and gave it the opportunity to kind of grow into what it is now.
Yeah.
Without those two things that I just said there, it wouldn't be what it is at the moment, and it would probably died. In truth,
True.
but anyway, should we just talk about some weird fucking matches
But-
anyway? Because
yeah,
we're here.
But
Yeah,
exactly. I've done a lot of research on some weird
Yeah,
matches, so
so-
I think it.
Dad, I've got one that I just want to just
You need to
clean. I just want to clean read out the rules to Phil, because similar to
Okay.
what he just did to me there with fucking stupid Duck Boy. I want to read out the rules to this match and just see if you can comprehend what it is. It's the King of the Mountain match from TNA. Dan, have you got this?
I've
got it on your list?
got it down as one of mine. Just the headline, but I just need to prefix this with Phil. Like TNA.
It was.
They from.
I mean, just from its
2002
name. Just from its
yeah,
name.
I mean, just from its names, TNA is a.
You get
play
the
on
joke, right?
Play on the
TNA.
name of
Tits and ass.
Oh,
TNA, tits and ass, but it actually
was
stood for
total
total non-stop action.
right.
But it was it was brilliant. But
It was awful.
from 2000
It was like-
but there's an era where it was
Sorry,
it was
I like how I had one of you going, "It was brilliant," and then immediately the other one went, "It was awful."
Oh, it was
It
awful,
was.
but it
It
lived
was.
in this. It
It
lived
was-
in this
yeah.
world in the impact zone. It lived in this zone where it was both amazing. You had amazing wrestlers and some amazing wrestling as well. But then at the same time, they could just go amazing, fucking yeah.
Yeah, you had like you'd have like 1 minute
Good, I like that.
an amazing
AJ
like
Styles
technical,
versus
like,
Samoa Joe.
yeah, or
like-
amazing red or something like that, like amazing
Yes.
high flying action, and then just absolute fucking garbage. Like
This is from like
this is
2002 to maybe 2014. 2002 to maybe 2007, 8 was more leaning towards that. This is great, but then
Yeah.
it kind of like, but there was always that little sprinkling
went into
of
wrestle
weird.
crap.
And then it was just like from maybe 2007 to 2014, it was a combination. It got less good, but there was still some great bits. But it was just
it's
what the fuck
fucking
is this?
nonsense? They once had it was a Dudley Boys against, I can't remember who it was, maybe America's Most Wanted, but it was this electrified steel cage
match. Yes.
and there's no electric on that fucking cage. It never seen electric, but every time they touched the metal, they'd start going like this on the cage, and then the lights in the
lights would
arena would go like on and off, and it'd go
What
buzz, 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 and it was all delayed and terribly out of sync. So you'd have like them doing this, and, oh shit, yeah, press the light button, and it was awful.
So people there were meant to believe that the amount of electricity that was being used to light up an entire stadium, I'm guessing,
it
was
was
actually
called-
being
no,
channeled
it's-
through.
Mate, it's a fucking TV studio in Universal Studios. It's not a stadium by any means. And it was
All
free
right.
to go and watch it.
Yeah, I
But
recently
they called it 10,000 volts of violence.
It was brilliant. I remember I've recently watched that as part of my research for that match, and there's this brilliant bit where Bubba Ray, he throws he comes in all boisterous and he tries throwing his belts because at the time I think they were like triple champions.
They were like they had a Japanese title, I think. Or something like that, didn't they? Yeah.
And he tried throwing his belts into the ring, and he kept missing. He threw one, it bounced off, and it just landed. So then he threw another, it bounced off. He had to pick it up, and he tried throwing his other one. It eventually got in, and then basically he walks in, and then there's this ref that just tries giving him the belts. He throws them back out the ring, walks back out, and then tries throwing them back in the ring. They waste that much time that they had to speed up the entrance for the opponents, and I was just like, what the hell? But yeah, it was like a school production of, oh, there's lightning outside, the power's going. It was just dim light, up light, dim light, up light.
Anyways, also something from TNA was the fucking King of the Mountain match, which was meant. This is like that piece of shit match we just talked about. There is like middle of the card. No one gives a fuck. This was like the main event match on multiple pay-per-views. This
is a format that Kyle's about to describe, and you go, do you know what? A one and done. Like it didn't work. And thinking, nope. This became a. I don't know.
This is TNA's thing. Like this is our staple match. This is what we're famous for. It's like you're famous for shit. Anyway, I will read you out. This is just like literally not the rules, but just the rules, the synopsis of what the match is. Yeah, you ready? So, King of the Mountain match. 5 competitors in the match start out as ineligible to win. In order to become eligible, a wrestler must score a pinfall or submission on an opponent. The opponent who submits or is pinned is forced to spend 2 minutes in the penalty box cage, which is literally a cage that they have at the side of the ring, like a cell. More than one wrestler can be in the cage. This often results in wrestlers fighting inside the cage or forming some sort of alliance. Once eligible, the wrestler may win the match by retrieving the match's prize, usually a championship belt, and hanging it on a hook suspended above the ring with the aid of ladders stationed outside the ring. An official maintains possession of the belt and circles the ring, staying out of the action as much as possible. When a wrestler wishes to hang the belt, he must retrieve it from the official. Once the belt is in play, any other wrestler who is eligible may attempt to steal the belt and hang it. Once the belt has been dropped and no wrestler has attempted to hang it, a referee returns the belt to the official. These modified rules make King/Queen of the Mountain essentially a reverse ladder match as the competitors attempt to hang the belt instead of retrieving it. How fucking stupid is that?
You've got mute, Phil.
You're on mute.
that's how stupid it is.
Insane it is.
You don't need all those little bits and pieces in there. You could have 2. Just take 2 of those things.
Or just have it as a ladder match. Yeah. Had it above the ring already. Have it as a ladder match. Don't all this cages ineligible to win. Like what is going on?
I get maybe sort of like flipping it around a little bit. So it's like you've got to hang the belt instead of taking it down.
Mm-hmm.
But just go with that. Start simple and then build up. Don't just come in. With a massive convoluted idea and try and pull it off.
TNA
you then have
also
to take a little bit out of that. Surely the whole thing just goes to
mate, yeah. It should never. It's so dumb that it should have never exited someone's mouth. Never mind the creative room of wherever it was conceived. They used to do another one as well. Do you like a battle royale? It's like you have 20 people in the ring. You throw them over the rope, and then the winner. It's like a Royal Rumble, but you're all in the ring. They did a reverse battle royal where everyone's outside the ring and you have to approach them in the ring.
And suddenly, things that wrestlers do normally, which is they walk down the ramp and they climb over the top rope into the ring, they suddenly are unable to do.
And don't know if you know about this, but most wrestling happens inside the ring.
Inside the
a lot
ring,
of the
yeah.
moves and stuff happen inside. Irish whip, can't do that outside.
I know.
Like so many things. It's so stupid.
But just
But anyway-
from a visual perspective, it's just impossible for you to keep track of as well.
Yeah,
because
like the
obviously, at
main
least-
focus, the ring.
yeah,
never mind
the
that. Have a
camera's
look
there, and
around
it's
it.
like it's empty, and everyone's just. But the whole
It'd be
I
like
think
putting on a plane, be like the whole thing is taking place. You'll never guess where. In the wings, where no
Yeah.
one can see.
Yeah.
no one can see what's happening.
And we're
It's happening
turning
in the
everyone's
toilet.
microphones off.
It's like driving a car from the boot. It's so stupid.
Brilliant. Speaking of that King of the Mountain format, do you know the putting them in a penalty box? I had the same reaction to sort of King of the Mountain when NXT recently. I think I sent you a text message saying,
Yeah, I
"Oh,
didn't
have
really
you seen
know about this, but yeah, go on.
the Iron Survivor challenge." This is another one which is complicated as hell. However, the actual execution of the match they had a men's one and a women's one. The women's one was okay. It wasn't as terrible as the actual rules stated, but the men's one actually was really, really fun to watch. It's 5 superstars will compete in a 25-minute match as they battle each other against the clock. 2 superstars will start the match, and every 5 minutes a new superstar will enter the match until all 5 are in the ring. The goal is to hit the most amount of falls when the clock hits 25 minutes. Falls can be won anytime via pinfall, submission, or disqualification. When they score a fall, they'll earn 1 point. However, when a superstar loses a fall, that superstar must go into the penalty box for 90 seconds. Once the 90 seconds are up, the superstar can re-enter the match. The superstar who has scored the most amount of falls when the clock hits 25 minutes will be named the Iron Survivor. So it's one of those ones where as soon as you read that, you're like, well, there's
It's
wrestlers
like
that are
an
going to come
Iron
out.
Man match, but with multiple people, basically.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you're like, oh, well, the wrestler that comes in late is disadvantaged, or the wrestler that's because they've only got a short amount of time. And it's like, but are they going to be? Then there was like, oh, but then they're going to be fitter and they've got 10 minutes to wrestle against them and score as many points because the other guys have been in there for 15 minutes already and they're tired. And you're like, oh, okay. And it's like, well, how do you tell that in storytelling? Like, how do you explain that in wrestling? And in the men's one, they did really well. The guy who won it, he managed in the last 30 seconds to score a pinfall. Basically, everyone got knocked out and he needed just one more to win the match. And he had like 45 seconds left of the match. He scores the pinfall, and then everyone else. So there's one other guy that's awake. The other person has to go into the penalty box. He then spends 45 seconds running away, running around the stadium and getting chased. And it's like, oh, that's pretty funny, actually. I quite kind of like what you've done as to how to sort of to score that. Oh, and the other guy tries to sort of like make a pinfall because he has to try and drag one guy into the ring. And what he does is he basically, the one who's leading, pulls the other guy away. And he's like, no, you can't have him. And he's just like knocked out. And he's like, oh, well, I can't get you in the ring. I can't get you in the ring. So I'm going to have to try and chase you to try and make you submit. And the 45-second goes up and he's like, yeah, I won. But I'm like, oh, it's quite a funny execution of it. And it's like, right, well, how do you top that now? So the interesting one is how they do it next year. But yeah, the rules itself are ridiculous.
You couldn't have that happening every time there's someone running away.
No, exactly. It was funny because it worked
be...
with that character as well, and it worked in that one-off. But
you couldn't do that every time.
No, every time
you need a new thing every time you did it. Yeah,
but yeah, there's so many ridiculous sort of it's hats on top of a hat. That's where that's what your King of the Mountain is. It's like you've taken a format, a ladder match, and
fucked
gone,
it up.
How can we make this?
How can we make this worse? Come on,
this
lads.
is
Everyone,
peak
thinking
Vince
caps
Russo.
on. Duckworth, get in here. How do you make it worse?
There's speaking of peak Russo fucking things up, the Last Rites match in TNA again. So that one was
what was that one?
So that was essentially a casket match. So casket match, Phil, is
yeah.
exactly what you think. You got to beat the guy, roll him into a casket, and you got to close the casket. The Undertaker's been through so many of these, and he's been through different variations. I mean, speaking of stupid ones, there was one where he had to compete in a casket match where Paul Bearer was in a perspex box.
Yeah,
and he was being
like
filled with sorry,
like the Pope.
Yeah, and he was filled with he's been filled with cement. The irony behind that is when the camera cut to him, that apparently this was all pre-recorded him, and the one actually in the arena was a lookalike. The actual Paul Bearer was at home.
Right.
But yeah, the Undertaker had to complete the match before the casket filled. But this one, the Last Rites,
buried alive matches as well.
Buried alive
bottom
matches,
99.
Yeah. So the Last Rites one,
a little dangerous.
They usually had like a escape hatch.
Yeah.
To the So like they dig the grave, and then as it's getting filled in, there's an escape hatch to get out.
Still a bit risky
One
doing
time
that as like
at,
on a live show.
At Royal Rumble 97, all right, I think it was. Undertaker had a casket match, and I think who was it against? Kane, maybe? I can't remember. But basically, it ended up in the casket, and then Kane took the casket to the top of the ramp and set it on fire. But Undertaker had escaped through like a hatch and then under the ring because it was next to it. And then they said, but I was like, when I remember watching that time, being like, he's dead.
How the hell did they do
How
that?
can he get out of that? He's dead. But he's already dead, but he's dead again now.
He's the dead man twice. The last rights match, which is again a hat on top of a hat. So it was just a standard. Well, actually, they sold it going into it. They were supposed to be in a bed of some kind, in their death bed. And it's like, right, okay. But it was actually a casket. But what happened was, instead of the casket being at the side of the ring for them to sort of like carry them in, it was hung above the ring. And they had to request for the casket to be... They had to, like in Shooting Stars, coo the pigeons down.
I remember that.
They had to request for the casket to be lowered, and then put the opponent in there. But every time they failed to put the opponent in, it went back up again and came back down. And
Didn't it also like take up half of the ring?
Yeah,
when
and
it was
took
down.
ages
Sting,
for it
wasn't
to come down. Yeah, Sting.
Yeah.
And it took so long for it to eventually come down.
They couldn't like wrestle around it because it was so big and in the way.
Do you know how I would call it down? I'd go coughing.
Yeah. Anyway, that's it from your favourite wrestling podcast.
that was worth an interruption, wasn't it? Fucking play the "Show Me the Money" music over the top of that. We'll be fine.
Show me the money. Here comes the money.
Here we go.
That's what the name of this episode should be.
The money.
There's so many.
There's so many. Yeah. Just one very quick one. There's what you get a lot of the time, Phil, is like X on a pole. So like they've had like pink slips on a pole before. So it's like a pole in the corner of the ring, and they're like fighting to get it. And it might be a championship belt there, similar to a ladder match in a way. But there used to be this wrestler in WCW, and WCW was terrible for all this kind of shit at the end as well, called Buff Bagwell. His catchphrase was, "I'm buff, I'm the stuff, and the girls can't get enough."
Nice.
And one time, basically, long story short, his mum, they had Judy Bagwell on a pole match, and she would just by the ring on a forklift.
The funniest
one.
one.
How can you not love wrestling? It's brilliant.
If you won the match, you
won
the
custody.
mum.
You won it was something to do like custody, wasn't it, or something?
He wanted his mum or something like that.
I think someone was trying to get his mum's
pants.
I think, from memory. But yeah.
Speaking of pants, the one that rolls off the tongue funniest is the bra and panties paddle on a pole match.
One more time.
The bra and panties paddle on a pole, and basically that's exactly what it says in the tin. Like two women in the bra and panties, because those were amazing matches back in the day. Yeah. They had them pretty much every week, which it was peak Monday Night Raw, and they had a match where the aim was there's a paddle on a pole, and you get the paddle and
smack the girl on the bottom with it.
On the bottom, yeah.
I've got one more like that. And then I'm done. Sombrero on a pole, Mexican death match. That's all that needs to be said about that one.
Yeah,
Speaking of Mexico, the Gulf of Mexico match that was between Chavo Guerrero and CM Punk. Basically, it was essentially a no disqualification match, but the winner, the winner had to throw the loser into the. You could only win the match by throwing the guy into the Gulf of Mexico.
Yeah.
So the match itself,
very specific,
centre-specific
place.
Yeah.
You have to have that match.
It was in Corpus Christi. The match itself. So
imagine if you had that match in like Canada. You'd be like, "Oh, fucking, I was going to go on for ages."
There's a Hollywood match, isn't there? Between it was between Goldust and Roddy Piper at WrestleMania, I think it was, and they got in a car and they had a car chase.
I said that earlier.
Oh, sorry,
That's the
sorry.
King of the Road death match.
And
King of the Road match.
they just disappear for 20 minutes.
Yeah. And then it come back and they're in the trailer.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, in fact, was it a Dusty in the one I'm thinking of? But anyway, yeah, very similar.
Yeah. We've had blindfold matches.
Yeah.
Where both guys are blindfolded.
I mean, basically, it's a bit like the Rule 2034, whatever it was thing. If you can fucking think of it, there's been someone dumb enough to put it into a wrestling match.
Yes.
Cool.
I wonder what wrestling match Duckworth-Lewis-Stern would come up with.
The Duchess of Queensberry rules match.
Frank Duckworth created a system for quantifying personal risk perception called the Duckworth scale.
Oh, I've heard of that.
So the most dangerous thing is Russian roulette with all the chambers of the gun filled. It's just ahead of Carl sticking cutlery into a plug.
Just ahead.
Hey, I've moved back to the UK. I don't do that anymore.
Didn't
I don't need to do it.
He's already got
amended your ways.
Yeah. Although I am going to Paris this weekend, so I might bring the old toys out again, stick a key or two into a plug.
Can you imagine that you get so well known for doing that when you you fly to another country, you're like on a list somewhere, and it's not like a terrorism list. It's just he'll come over and he'll just decide to stick stuff in a plug.
They just give me 2 metal prongs as I get through airport security. It's like, here you go, you're going to need this. I'm like, oh yeah, great.
I can't wait.
Be like the TNA electric cage match.
Exactly. I can't wait for the cutlery episode where we talk about which is Carl's favourite cutlery to stick into a plug.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing that.
We'll have to do that soon.
Well, you'll got that to look forward to, haven't you?
Yeah.
Well,
Anyway, I think that's it from your favourite wrestling podcast.
With a lad from...
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the
We're
money.
definitely getting...
We're taking
Dollar.
With a lad from Hull.
Well, we're going to do all that again, I'm afraid.
Why are we?
Because I can't. If it's going to be the whole episode, it's just going to be that over and over and over.
It is. It's going to just be this all the way through the episode. So just talk over now. Carl, sign off.
Here comes the money.
That's it from your favourite wrestling podcast.
With a lad from Hull.
But for this week, Dan's having his toys taken away from him, and this week we are all tapped out.